Hey everybody, it's Jamaison here with an experiment. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I sell decals and glass bales at Fusing.shop, www.Fusing.shop. And I've gotten the question several times about the bales and how much weight will they hold. So I thought that's a great question. Let me actually address this. Now, my bales are handmade from borosilicate glass. No, I don't make them. I have another artist that does them for me. But they are non-fusible. This is boro glass, so you have to glue these on. So my first answer to how much weight will they hold is often, well, what kind of glue are you using? Because that's an important factor as well. But some of, they vary in shape because they're handmade, shape and size. So for instance, this one, hopefully you can see this okay, has a little bit more of a narrow or thinner kind of ring on there. This would be, in my opinion, great for jewelry because it's relatively small and does not stand out too much. And then again, some of them, because they're handmade, are a little bit thicker. So you can see the difference here between these two, and you get what you get. So when you order an assortment from my website, you're ordering 10. I actually include 12 just in case there's any breakage in the shipment, which does tend to happen once every great while, but not too often. So I had made this for a sample trial piece of something I was doing and decided now to use it as a sampler for my bales. And so I glued some bales on with Gorilla Glue, maximum strength adhesive, and E6000. I used to use E6000 a lot. I've kind of lost favor of this one, but I did, you can't hardly read this, but I marked E6000, so these four are all glued on with E6000, and they seem relatively strong on there, and I'm not going to pry on them too much. And then with my Gorilla Glue, I just marked it with a heart because it's my favorite. This is available in my Amazon store. I'm using this for everything. I'm gluing glass to glass, glass to wood, glass to metal, plastic to glass. I mean, all of the things I'm using for this for, and I really like it. Both E6000 and Gorilla Glue say to cure for 24 hours. And so both have been curing now for the 24-hour period, longer than that actually, and we're ready to test them out. So I bought from eBay a digital force gauge. And so this allows, and I've got it set on ounces, this allows you to hook into the bale and then weigh or measure in ounces how much force you can apply to something before it breaks. So I'm going to zero that back out. And because these are different sizes, we're going to kind of just do an average of these, but thought it would be interesting to see. And I expect in all 8 cases that it will break somewhere along this neck. Another note about my bales versus others that you might find online, I particularly asked for this neck to be relatively open so that you could slip, from a jewelry standpoint, virtually any chain and the clasp through these. So I love using these for my sun catchers that hang in windows, but they're also magnificent for jewelry bales, and they're large enough. They're not so obnoxious that they would detract from a piece. In fact, I argue that if you have a pendant hanging on these, they actually kind of highlight the beauty of the glass of the pendant. But they are large enough for you to have, pretty much universal application depending on what kind of chain you or your customer wants to use. Okay, so enough of a sales pitch here. Let's get to work. I'm going to start with the E6000 ones. Now, I don't know how this is going to go. I haven't done this before, but this measures the peak. So as soon as it breaks, it'll stop measuring and we'll be able to see what that looks like. You know what? I need to get a piece of paper. So let me do that so I can write down my recordings. Get my favorite little Fusing logbook here, which I helped co-create with a friend of mine, and they're available in the Amazon store as well. Let's just open up to a new notes page. Bale tests. And all right, let's begin. So again, I'm going to start with the E6000. All I'm going to do, let's see if I can turn that. Yeah. All right, zero that out. Just going to hook onto one of these. Can you see both? Yeah, you can see the digital reader. I've got my got safety glasses on just in case. I'm gonna start to pull, pulling. I decided to go in ounces because I figured you can always do the conversion to pounds. And I know a lot of our things are relatively lightweight, and people are curious about sun catchers. I can't imagine you've got a sun catcher or something that's this heavy. I'm just continuing to go. Okay, I'm pulling a lot of force on this right now. I'm gonna have to restart here because I'm losing my grip. Try again. I'm just gonna keep pulling. All right, the glue failed before the bale. That was E6000. The bale withstood that up to 130 ounces. So E6000, number 1, 130 ounces, and then glue failed. All right, let's try the next one. So yeah, the E6000 failed before the bale did. It's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. All right, zero it out. Let's go again. Test number 2. I'm pulling hard. And I can see the glue failed again. 171. So here's an important point. I'm just going to keep that bale and use it again. Critics of E6000 do not like its fail rate. Those who say they have success with it indicate that they use a fresh tube. So I bought a bunch of these mini tubes. This was a brand new fresh tube. So those of you watching who are curious, fresh tube of E6000 that I punctured just yesterday to apply to my pieces. They also say rough up the glass. So in this case, I'm using papyrus paper. I think there's plenty of texture on that glass as it is because papyrus now leaves too much texture. Thank you very much to the Technoglass company. So I did not rough up my glass. I did clean it with vinegar. I also cleaned the bales with vinegar. And the bales have texture in them. So if you can see, there's kind of a leaf texture, or there's a leaf shape with some texture. There's like fake veins in there to help with the grip. So in my opinion, you don't need to rough up the bale itself. It's already got texture built into it. So had I, marred that with a diamond drill bit and really scratched it up, would it stick a little bit better? Maybe. But as you notice, it's not coming off the glass. It came off the bale. And I'm not going to rough up these bales. I just don't think that's necessary. Oh, got to write that down. 171, glue, fail. Zero it out, number 3. This is kind of fun. And I can see the glue failing as I'm pulling. 129. 129, glue, fail. This is actually kind of surprising. I really thought the bale would fail first. And the bale pulled off. The glue. Bale is fine. 182. Another glue fail. All right, let's see what happens with the Gorilla. I'm really pretty interested in this myself. All right, here we go. You see me shaking. I'm having a hard time here. Okay, this is crazy. I seriously can't pull that anymore. I hit 400. I mean, I'm going to give it a shot, but holy cow. I can't pull it any more than that. Okay, I'm going to write down 400 plus. Did not break. Let's try number 2 here. I mean, you can see how that is. zero it out. I broke it at 280, and that one actually broke. See that? Pulled off and broke at the neck there. 280. Next up, number 3. Oh, let me zero that out. Okay, it broke. It actually stayed glued on because there was a little bit of glue down there, but it broke at 348. And last one here. This one's pretty thick, so I don't know. It's probably the thickest one. I'm shaking. I can't pull it anymore. I got to almost 500 and I can't pull it anymore. Didn't break. 31 pounds of pressure and it didn't break. So in the case of the E6000, it was the glue that failed. This is why, folks, I am such a massive fan of this Gorilla Glue lately. And frankly, it's just as cheap, if not cheaper, than E6000. The ones that did break here, there were 3 of them. So you average these 3 together. I'll do that math. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen because I do not do math in front of people. And there you go. So for those who are interested in the bales, you can find them at www.Fusing.shop. Wonderful for apparently many of your hanging needs. But don't come at me if you use inferior glue. This is my favorite. It's in my Amazon store. Catch you all later. Bye.